Welcome to Discussing Dad Life, where we break down bullshit so you don't have to. I'm Void, this is No, and let's go.
Welcome to Wellspring Wednesdays.
I think we need to change that name.
You don't like Wellspring Wednesdays?
Wellspring.
Yeah, it's another term for
Endearment.
father. The Wellspring.
I don't see how that's related to father.
I don't know, but that's what it said.
I know
said
you
it was a
Googled
synonym.
it, and I just... All right.
Hey, Google never lies, don't you know?
Don't you know?
Fuck. Oh, shit. Okay.
All right, run it.
We're going to get into this one, right? So, hold on. We're going to transition real quick.
All right.
Coming into... Wait, that was a horrible transition.
What's going on?
Oh, my instant transmission's not working very well, eh?
Don't you know?
Don't you know?
About this?
Fine. So, go ahead and give your update what you want to be working on come January.
Oh, yeah.
Let's start with that.
So I don't know how many other gentlemen out there are felons. I'm guilty, but there is, and if you've ever wanted to get your gun rights back, there is a way to do it, and there is an entire process to it. I am currently in the process of trying to get my gun rights back, and I'm able to apply for my gun rights starting this January. I can't remember the exact day. I think it's the 9th. But I think in the future, we're going to try to be a little informative to, you guys out there that need to try to do this process.
So, question for you. Are you wanting to basically say, as you're going through this process, we'll just kind of give an update like, hey, this is what I'm working on.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
are the struggles I'm running into.
Yeah, and then maybe at the end of the whole thing, we can do an
Like a
episode
recap.
on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
just kind of put it all together. But,
Makes sense.
I just don't want people to... And it's not going to apply to everybody, obviously. You know what I mean? There's going to be certain people that, hey, you just can't get it back.
Yeah.
But
there's some states that will never give it to you back.
exactly.
You know, which is absolutely trash, I think.
I think so too. I think after, you know what I mean, everybody makes mistakes. Literally everybody. There's no perfect person out there.
No.
And I don't think that your mistake should be held towards you forever.
If you make a mistake when you're 19, 20, 21 years
Yeah.
old, why does that mistake still ban you from doing it when you're 40 years old and you've never been in trouble since?
Exactly.
Right. I get it.
Yeah.
I get your argument. I would be a firm believer in that because one mistake does not define you.
No,
Right.
it doesn't. And like I said, everybody makes mistakes, and you should be given a second. I am a firm believer in second, third chances. You know what I mean? Because I've been given next chances in my life, so I feel pay that forward. Excuse me. And but anyways, we're gonna go through that here in a few months. We'll start that, and hopefully it helps some of you guys out, because that's what Wellspring Wednesdays is for, is to help you guys out.
Yep. You want to hit that power button for me, sir?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so
Your turn.
bloop, bloop, bloop. Since my
It's still burnt.
still fucking fucked up, jackass. I'm switching back. Okay, so on Wellspring Wednesdays, let's talk about a common situation that happens with divorced dads. Right, you have children.
Mm-hmm.
Your dating life is not over. Your romantic life does continue to progress, and we've kind of touched on this in the past.
Yeah.
Which is, you have children. You're entering the dating scene.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? How do you introduce the person you are dating to your children? And what
Tactics.
tactics you can use? But also, there are differences in tactics, because so let's say you met a woman that has children, right? She understands children a little bit, so that tactics are going to be a little bit different than, let's say, you meet someone that doesn't have any children, right?
Yeah.
So, more or less open discussion. Let's kind of go over, what are some of the pitfalls and what are some of the things that we can try avoiding, and how long should you wait before you do introductions and stuff like that?
I don't know, man. I think introduce them right out the gate. Let's see if this is going to work out, because if you're not getting along with my kids, sorry, you got to go.
I understand that reasoning. However, what I would push back on is, if you introduce the children right away and they form an attachment and then it fails to work, and you do this multiple times, then it's just a revolving door of people into your life.
And
into their
I
life.
can see that argument, but I mean, regardless, if you so you're dating a woman and you introduce them later down the road, it's going to be the same thing. Either they're going to grow an attachment or not.
Well,
So,
I get that. What I'm saying is it's not about growing the attachment right away, but it's about the constant revolving of the door, right? So if you keep your dating life separate from your children's lives until you've assessed whether or not they're even worth meeting your children, wouldn't that be a better scenario?
well, if you're just one night standing somebody, no, obviously not
Okay.
introducing them. But if it's somebody that you're considering more than just romantically, like somebody that you're, you know what I'm trying to build a life with because you're actually feeling, you're vibing with that chick.
Wouldn't that be romantic though?
What?
You said
Just a
something more
one-night
than
stand?
romantic.
Oh, then I worded that wrong. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant more one night stand versus somebody that you want to see your
More than
future
just
with.
a lustful
Yeah,
encounter.
yeah, there
okay,
you go. That's
I
way-
got what she's saying.
You know what I mean? What shit? I lost my train of thought now.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to clarify because
No,
what
no,
you
no,
said
you're fine.
kind of contradicted itself. So I was like, what?
No, my bad. What was I saying?
You're
yeah.
saying if you're expecting it to be like more of a romantic where you can see
Yeah.
yourself building a life with them, you would introduce them first off because their relationship
Yeah,
would
it's
also
gonna-
be dependent, right?
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense though because let's say you're dating a woman for a year and everything's going good and you've kept your kids and her separate.
Yeah,
Sh-
exactly.
They know
Once-
she knows of him, but she has
Yeah.
never met him.
But yeah,
and I
so-
think this is actually very telling though as well because if the woman has children, she understands children.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say you do that and she doesn't have children. It's a year down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Then she finally meets him. She might get scared
Yeah.
and take off. So then you've invested that year
Mm-hmm.
into her, and then she just can't deal with the realities of a child,
Yeah.
right?
So then, you know what I mean? Then you
So-
know, and
So I understand I'm wondering where the balance is.
I don't. What do I know?
I guess that's each individual person, right?
They say it's going to have to be depending on it's going to be an individual case by case basis.
Yeah.
Because nobody's the same. Everybody's situation is their own.
Yeah.
You know, there might
Okay.
be some similarities between one or another, but regardless, that's your journey.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can give advice on that, but at the end of the day, you're going to make your own
You
best
got
judgment.
You're right. You're going to have to analyze what your
Mm-hmm.
situation is and make the best decision based on that
Exactly.
information. So we can give you tips and tricks possibly on what to look for and possibly ideas on how to actually make that interaction happen, right?
Yeah.
Right. So going back to whether or not she has chids and not
Chids?
chids. Dang it.
That was a good one. I'm going to remember that. I'm going to put
Chids.
that on one of our T-shirts. Chids.
God. Okay. So depending on whether or not she has kids
There you go.
is going to be determined on how you should do the introduction, I think. Right.
Yeah.
Because let's say that you're inviting her over to come and meet your kids. She doesn't have any. You know how your kids could react.
Yeah.
Would it be beneficial to have her, oh, hey, you're in town. Like, let's say she lives in a different city and she's coming in to meet your kids. Putting her up in a hotel. So that way she still has her own space. She can
Yeah, if you-
decompress.
Yeah, if that's what she wants, I mean, obviously you could offer it to her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad idea. I could see why somebody would want to do that. But again, in my situation, I think if that was the case, hey man, I mean, because my kids, I have the
Yep.
two I have full custody of, so they're constantly with me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you know what I mean? I don't have a whole lot of money to be putting somebody up to a hotel room.
Fair.
It would be like, hey, this is the situation. I want you to meet my kids. I want them to meet you. Do you want to come stay the night and have dinner with us?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And if she says, no, I'm not ready for that, then
Yeah.
all right, cool. You know,
Yeah.
we'll try it again some other time.
Yeah. Or if you do have the funds and the
Yes.
ability to do it, go ahead and say, hey, you know what? We can. But it's also about having that communication with her.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
But it's also important, I think, in the relationship, not strictly just the relationship between you and her, but the relationship with you and your kids as
Yes.
well. That you make sure that they're comfortable with it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean,
Right.
you have to, I would definitely talk to my kids before.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, you know.
Yeah, you can't just randomly have someone show up.
Surprise!
Hey, they're spending the night. Deal with it.
Yeah.
No, you got to kind of break them in.
Well, especially if they're older, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? They're not, little kids, like they can comprehend what's going on. Like,
Yeah.
daddy and mommy aren't together, blah 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 blah. Dad's apparently got some swag and he's pulling these bitches, you know. So yeah,
Oh,
again, it all depends on your situation.
That is an old term, swag.
Swag.
That was
Am I getting that old?
dude, that was like mid '90s.
I don't know, man. I
early
still hear people
2000s.
pulling that shit.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard that.
I didn't start hearing
minute,
swag
man.
until like 5 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe I got that twisted, but I'm pretty sure that's like been a minute since that's been around.
I think you're thinking Austin Powers.
Maybe. So that actually does bring up something that's interesting, right? So
Let's hear it.
Since we're on the topics of dating and introducing and whatnot, if you're dating a younger woman, some of the references,
Oh yeah.
right? Because like,
fuck did you just say?
because like, I was talking with someone and they're younger and is a work situation. And
Man or woman?
Man.
Okay.
The dude's like 23 years old, something like that, right? It just whatever. He had said something to me, and I was just like, "Dude, you're killing me, Smalls." And he's looking at me like, "What the fuck does that mean?" And I'm
Killing
like,
him.
"Killing me, Smalls." And I'm like, "Dude, killing me, Smalls."
Sandlot.
He's like, "What?" I'm just like, "Dude, you never seen The Sandlot?" He's like, "What the hell is that?"
Oh,
I'm like,
man.
And I'm just like, "Oh my god!" And
Just deflated the whole conversation.
and I'm just like, "Dang it, dude, we're freaking old."
Yeah, we're getting there.
But that can translate into issues on the dating scene too. Is if you're
Yeah,
depending on,
yeah.
because you are going to have generational differences. Right?
Well, if you're dating younger, yeah.
If you are dating younger or
Yep.
dating older, I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
Christ,
vice versa.
I mean, if you wanted to go for a 60-year-old, you'd be running into the same issue. She'd make a comment, and you'd be like, "Who the fuck are you talking about?"
Would you call me? Dude, I remember when I was younger and I was like in the dating scene. I used to try to date my age. You know what I mean? My age group, and it never fucking worked out.
No,
I was like, "What did you?" Shut up.
We've kind of ran through the breakdown on whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, if we want to, we can do that again at some other point. But the topic of this conversation is how to introduce and how to basically create a new family unit.
Yeah.
Is I guess where I'm going with this, right? Because you have a
Slowly.
relationship with your child
Yeah.
or children, and you have a relationship with them, but you have to help facilitate and bridge the relationship between them and her.
Well, yeah. Right? Especially if you're the leader of your family,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. You gotta use some diplomacy there. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
And I will say this: I do believe it's actually easier for men to do that, to introduce their children to their next potential spouse. And the reason I say that is because women are inherently nurturers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
That's what I was supposed to say.
So their openness and their willingness to bond with another child is much higher than a man's is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it does work in our favor. We do have a slight advantage on that. Whereas as the mother of the
Opposite way.
child is going to struggle a little bit more, I think.
Yeah. A woman introducing kids to another guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that there's any stats or anything that prove that. I'm just trying to use common sense here a little bit.
Yeah, no.
Because there are biological differences in how men and women behave with children.
Just
right?
look at nature. It's
Yeah.
the same way. You know what I mean? Watch the Discovery Channel for freaking 5 hours.
A lion will come in, overtake the pride, and kill off all the cubs and reproduce.
We're not saying that that's what you should do.
No, not, no. I'm just trying to use the example of what's going on the
to
Discovery
crack a joke,
Channel.
man.
Yeah,
Getting serious on this. Getting
you
serious.
and me, baby, ain't nothing but
But
mammals. So
also-
let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel.
Yeah, see, we're old.
I'm pretty sure. If you guys know the name of that song, drop it in the comments.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
That's a good song. Good song. So during the introduction of the children, right?
Yeah.
I think it'd be best interest to do events rather than just coming and sitting at the house and let's play a game or let's talk. Well, actually, a game actually wouldn't be that bad because then you can sit and talk and you can do some stuff.
Pictionary.
So like, if you can give ideas of what to your potential spouse or who you're dating.
Yeah.
Of ideas that your kids enjoy, right?
Yeah.
So like, if your kids like collecting rocks or painting or stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
You can do something that kind of fits in those genres and that you can interact and do an
Get
activity
a feel
with.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do the stuff with them. So it's you're not just sitting and talking or watching a movie and just kind of whatever. You're actually interacting with them and having a good time.
So that's why I always like,
And I can't take credit for that. I actually had an outside source that showed me that, and I thought it was fucking spot on and perfect.
See, when I was, it was just me and the two heathens before I had my most recent two. It was always, you know what, let's go out to dinner, or and it was let's sit down and we, like a dinner table, we would just talk about stuff, and that's how I used to introduce them.
Well, I don't think that's a bad idea, right? Getting them out in public, right? Because it's a neutral setting.
Exactly.
In a public setting.
It's neutral ground, yep.
So hopefully she's not uncomfortable. Hopefully the children aren't uncomfortable, right? It's something that we do all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you go and you bring them out to dinner. But I wouldn't stop at just dinner, right? Because if you're in a
No,
crowded
always...
restaurant, it's loud, you can't really have fun.
Yeah.
If you have younger children, everybody should know if they have younger children how they act in restaurants. It's a pain in the butt.
Yep. Follow it by going to the park or something. You know what I mean? Like you said, an activity.
Doing something, an event. Something that all of them like, right?
Yes. Try to. I mean, you're not going to please everybody all the time.
No, you're not. But, if you're doing your job right as the leader of the household or the potential household you're trying to form, you're going to know what she's into. You're going to know what your children are into.
Yes.
Even if you're not into it, you are going to figure out something that they're all kind of liking.
Yeah.
So like
some common ground.
Let's say they all like animals. Take them to a zoo or take them to an aquarium or take them somewhere so that way it's fun, interactive, that they can talk and they're all comfortable because they all like the same kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
If they like skiing,
okay,
take them skiing.
Let me throw some shit at you.
Okay.
What if you're on a budget?
Ooh, that's.
Remember we talked about a little bit of this.
Yes.
But we never talked about being on a budget introducing the children.
So I'm going to push back a little bit,
All
right?
right.
And the reason I'm going to push back a little bit is because if you're on a budget, I would recommend that you should not be dating.
I knew you were
right.
going to say that.
So that's kind of where I'm.
But you can't help things. Sometimes
no, that's true.
Life
You
just
can't help
dictates,
things, which is good.
Yeah.
If life dictates it and you're able to make that work,
more power to you.
That's great. I would say don't look for it and work on getting your money up to take care of your kids and take care of your life first.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
That being said, let's say you do get in a situation where you did find someone, you are on a budget. I think you're spot on. Going to a park, doing something that's free, that going to like a jungle gym and letting your kids, or Arctic Circle, right?
Yeah, in our area,
Yeah, Arctic Circle in our area, the cheap food, cheap ice cream, and they have the indoor play place.
Yep.
It's perfect. It's something that you can do, and it would hopefully fit inside your budget.
Does anybody still do like Sunday drives?
I have no idea.
You know what I'm talking about? Like just go
yeah.
cruising around,
Yeah.
turn the radio on. Like I used
Who's
to do
got
that
the
as a
money
kid.
to do that these days, dude?
That's
You could
true.
be a
Gas
billionaire.
prices are horrible.
You could be a billionaire and not be able to afford to do that.
Sometimes I'll be, going through my day-to-day stuff, and I'm a human too, and I still just, you know what? I'm gonna drive to the store real quick. Come right back, dude. Anyways.
So, yes, you can do stuff on the on a low budget. I would
focus more on getting your money up.
that would be my recommendation. Don't worry about forming a new family unit. Take care of what you already have,
and maybe
then expand after.
Maybe even if you have respect for that person, tell them, hey, look, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Just be straight up with them. Hey, I really dig you, but look, I'm trying to work on me right now.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you're still available.
Well, and they might respect that.
I would hope that they would have enough respect for you.
Most dudes don't think with this head when they get to that point, right?
Fair.
They're thinking with the other head, and they're thinking, fuck it, let's say what we need to say to get the sweet nothings.
Testosterone.
Right. So a good man would do that. A good man would say, hey, I appreciate that you are showing interest in me. I don't think I'm in a point in my life where I could comfortably take care of my current responsibilities and comfortably take care of you.
No, fair.
Right. A good man would do that.
Yeah.
But those are few and far between these days.
Yeah. Most men nowadays can't even change a goddamn tire.
That is true.
And you know what? That's not true.
That is true.
You think that's valid? Because I know a lot of people that can change a tire, but there's just some of these prissy motherfuckers.
You gotta remember where we live. We're more rural.
That's true.
right? So rural boys are a lot different than city boys,
Yeah.
right? City boys, they might be up when it comes to chasing tail, but when it comes to actually having life skills, city boys is down,
Yeah.
right? Um, I would much rather take the freaking Jim Bob and freaking Bubba.
You said Jim Bob.
I'm just saying, dude. Like,
no, I get it.
Like,
I get it.
the country, the country boys from the South. I would much rather have them on my team than some freaking dude from New York,
Fair.
right? I'm just saying. Like, I guarantee I could probably put more trust in them, put more faith in them. Just saying.
No, I respect it.
So I don't think that's a fair analysis to use the people we know around here as to being able to change a tire.
Yeah. That's
Right.
Fair.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
I just see so much shit out there, and it's like you ever see those little videos that come across your feed, and they're like asking them questions, I see this stuff with all these new men, as they call themselves, and they just like they ask them, hey, where does the president live, or something stupid, or hey, can you do this?
Mm-hmm.
Can you do that? And it's always, what's that? No, what? I
Yeah.
call AAA. What the?
Yeah, well, a lot of it's due to our education systems
Yeah.
failing, right? Like, I'm not joking. When there's people on this planet that have no idea where their food comes from, they think the food comes from the grocery store.
Part of the Communist Handbook.
And I'm like, are you serious? Like, you don't understand what farmers do? Like, like, what are farmers?
So screwed.
So, getting back on topic. Introducing your children to your potential mate is obviously a very important step.
It is.
What you can do to make it as seamless as possible is communicating with the children and her in order to facilitate it, right? Because your job as a man is to make sure that everyone under your protection is cared for and can understand everything going on, and that you smooth out any ripples and wrinkles that kind of prop up.
Yeah, it's your job.
Right? So, couple little tidbits of advice that we gave.
Yeah.
But I think the best one is that you actually put out there, which is everyone's situation is different. It's all about communication.
Yeah. I mean, you'll know what to do in that type of a situation. You'll know what you're able to do.
Yep.
If you're honest with yourself,
Yep.
you'll know what you're capable of doing, what you're available to do,
Yep.
and then from that, determine the best course of action in your life. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, that's all I gotta say.
Can I ask a personal question?
What's up?
How long did it take for you to introduce your wife to your children? Because your children are from a prior relationship.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious.
We were dating I want to say a few months before I wanted to try to introduce her. But I was going through some legal stuff, and so I was away from my actual children. So it was over like video. But I tried to introduce them just through video, FaceTime and stuff like that. But she wasn't ready, and then I had to go away for a stint.
Okay.
And and that was over a year. But by the time I got out of prison, we introduced her. I think I was only out for a week.
Okay, so it's pretty fast.
It
was pretty fast after that.
But that gave her enough time.
But you had some outside influences that kind of
But see, the other thing too is if I would have not had to go do that time, and I, it would have been right then and there too. So it was.
You think even if you weren't away, it was still would have stretched out to make sure she was comfortable enough to do that?
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely,
okay, fair.
definitely.
So I think you hit on something else that we didn't talk about, which is video chatting or talking on the phone. That's actually a good way to slowly introduce them as well. So that way it's right, because meeting in person is completely different than having a conversation on the phone.
Oh, definitely.
So a little bit of icebreaker
It's a little
on
more
the phone.
informal, I think.
Yeah, it is a little more informal. They can kind of get to know each other slightly. So that way when they're together, the nervousness from being like at a 10 maybe is down at like a 6.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
It just kind of brings tension.
That's actually a really good point. I wish I would have thought of that, man. Good job.
I have my moments.
Yeah, I like that, man. It was great.
So,
Perfect. Please drop us the name of that song.
Also, go check out the store.
Yes, got some.
Link in bio or description.
His daughter's done some wonderful jobs on designing. It's going to be great.
Yeah,
So
I think there's
check 'em out.
2 designs out there now.
Yeah,
I think.
I need to go and order one myself too.
They're on coffee cups now too.
Ooh,
You can do coffee cups, I think towel and stuff. Yeah, there's a bunch
sweet,
of stuff. Go
sweet.
check out the store.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out too because I haven't actually jumped on the store and bought anything.
I know we need to get coffee cups, maybe a plaque or something discussing that.
Or a big old blanket. Ooh, that's what we should do.
There you go. Yeah, that's a damn good idea.
Yeah, cover up with us every day.
Talk to you guys later.
Thank you for watching. Please give us a like, share, and subscribe. Till then, peace.